Anin, Sego. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me today while we make our apple cinnamon breakfast cookies. The ingredients we'll be using this week are 1 cup of rolled oats, 1 cup of whole wheat flour, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1.5 cups of grated apple, 1 cup of raisins, half a cup of sunflower seeds, half a cup of coconut oil, and 1/3 of a cup of honey or maple syrup. And this week we'll be using maple syrup. In addition to the ingredients I just went over, you're also going to need baking sheets, parchment paper, a large mixing bowl, a wooden spoon, measuring spoons, and a grater. So go ahead and grab everything you need and then meet me back here and we'll get started. Okay, so we've got everything. I think we're ready to get started. First, I'm going to add 1 cup of rolled oats into my mixing bowl. Next, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. One teaspoon of baking soda. I'm using a half teaspoon, so I'm going to go ahead and do this twice. It's important to use baking soda and not baking powder. And next we're going to add our cinnamon. So again, 1 teaspoon. I love the smell of ground cinnamon. So now we're going to add some sunflower seeds. We're going to use half a cup of sunflower seeds. Because I'm using a 1/4 cup, I'll do this twice. Next, we'll add 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and we can go ahead and start mixing these dry ingredients all together. Now, this is where you're going to add 1 cup of raisins. In our house, we don't use raisins because we do have a sensitivity to them. You can also substitute the raisins with any other dried fruit your family enjoys. Now we can start with our wet ingredients. We're going to use 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. This maple syrup works as a natural sweetener, which you'll notice we don't have any sugar in this recipe. And now time for coconut oil. We're going to use half a cup of coconut oil. So there's a 1/4 cup. And another 1/4 cup. And go ahead and mix everything again. So I've gone ahead and set this aside. Here's our grater. One side's got large holes and the other has smaller holes. So we can go ahead and grate our apples. It's okay to grate them with the peel on. You can make the cookies with the peels. The peel is where the most nutrients are. If you find that you've got little pieces of peel that aren't grating very well, just set those aside. No big deal. And what we want is about 1.5 cups of grated apple. So we can see I've almost got a cup, but not quite. So go ahead and grate that second apple. And between the two of them, they should give you about 1.5 cups of grated apple. Once you've got that apple in the bowl, start mixing again. If you didn't melt your coconut oil, you may need to spend a little more time mixing, as I am here, just to make sure that those chunks are evenly dispersed and broken up. Once you've got everything mixed all together, we're going to go ahead and place our bowl in the fridge while we preheat our oven to 350 degrees. So my oven is preheated. I'm going to prepare my baking sheet by placing a piece of parchment paper over top of the baking sheet. Here's our dough. I call it dough, but really it's more of a mixture, I suppose. It's chilled, which means it's firmed up a little bit. So you're going to go ahead and use about 2 tablespoons of mixture at a time to make a cookie. I'm just going to use this little ice cream scoop. And I'm just going to pop those mixture balls and then flatten them down. We want them to be anywhere from 1/2 to 1/4 inch thick. If you don't have one of these ice cream scoops, or I guess mashed potato scoops, you can go ahead and just roll the mixture into a little ball, flatten it slightly, and place it on your baking sheet. You can place these cookies quite close together because they are not going to expand. These big ones, I'm not really liking the size of them. I think they're a little too big, so I'm just going to redo them very quickly. As you can see, we've got a couple different sizes. And we can go ahead and pop those into the oven. These are going to go in the oven for anywhere between 18 to 22 minutes. So we're going to take our cookies out after that 18 to 22 minutes when we notice that the edges are getting slightly golden. And here are our finished apple cinnamon breakfast cookies. So you want to let them set slightly on your cooking or baking sheet before you transfer them over to a wire rack to finish cooling. So you're just going to repeat the same process with the mixture left in the bowl, but here you have your first batch of apple cinnamon breakfast cookies. Hope you enjoy. Until next time, Ona.